Hello. I want to talk a little bit today about the recent catastrophic flooding in Valencia, Spain. One might have questions such as, why Valencia? Why Spain? Well, astrology has some answers. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. This will take just a second to get everything set up. And I've got to get rid of a few panels so that I can see what I'm doing. Just bear with me a few more seconds. Just about there. And we're ready. So this is the Floods of Valencia, October 30th, 2024. Now, on October 30th, 2024, there was catastrophic flooding in Spain that devastated the town of Valencia and killed at least 217 people. Thus, I decided to look at the astrology of the situation. However, there are currently two charts for the country of Spain. The older one is for the 19th of January, 1479, and it corresponds to the marriage of Prince Ferdinand of Aragon and Princess Isabella of Castile. And with this marriage, the Kingdom of Spain officially began. The second chart, though, for modern Spain, is based on the inauguration of King Juan Carlos on the 22nd of November, 1975. Of these two charts, however, it is the older one that seems to resonate the most with recent events. Okay, so here's the chart for the founding of Spain in 1479. It really looks quite nice as it contains a grand trine and two mini grand trines. So you can see here the grand trine and the mini grand trines. That's going to be a trine and two sextiles. And here we have another trine and two sextiles. Okay, we'll now look at the transits for Spain on the day of the floods, 30th of October, 2024. And these transits make the catastrophic events quite clear. Also, even though I am not an expert in how astrology affects the weather or other natural phenomena, I do find it quite interesting how often water signs pop up in these transits. The main indication of the disaster is the strong conjunction of transiting Pluto, destruction, with the natal sun, the nation and its leaders, while being opposed by transiting Mars, physical disruption. Additionally, we see that the moon's nodes, here's the north node and the south node, they are both involved. Also, notice that Mars is in Cancer, a water sign. Okay, if we look at this, Pluto is extremely strongly conjunct the natal sun in this chart for Spain. And Mars is also making a strong opposition to the sun. Pluto can represent transformation or destruction, and Mars makes the event more physical as opposed to some other kind of transformation, such as political. So there was a very heightened probability of physical destruction occurring at this time, a hint that water may be involved, since Mars is in a water sign, and a hint that structures may break, since Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which rules structures. Now we also have transiting Uranus sesquiquadrate, natal Venus, indicating some sort of shock to the people of Spain. Also quite important are the semi-squares to the Sun being made by transiting Saturn over here and transiting Venus over here. At the same time, transiting Venus is making a sesquiquadrate to natal north node and a semi-square to the south node, while transiting Saturn makes a sesquiquadrate to transiting Mars. And it is also going to make a, let's see, it looks like, well, something of a semi-square to the south node. I'm using about a 2-degree orb for most things here, so that this might be a little out of the orb I'm using, but it will still make an impact. So we have a lot of tension here. The main tension is Pluto conjunct the sun, Mars being opposed to the sun, and then these semi-squares from Saturn and Venus, along with the sesquiquadrats they're making, that creates a lot of, if you will, coordinated tension leading to this catastrophe. Also, Saturn represents structure while Pisces weakens that structure. We have Saturn in Pisces. And notice too that Saturn is in Pisces, which is a water sign. So again, we see the element of water involved. We see structure involved both through Saturn and through the sign of Capricorn. And we see the likelihood of some sort of physical destruction taking place because of the action of Mars. And finally, notice that the transiting south node is making a sesquiquadrate to natal Jupiter, while the transiting north node makes a semi-square to natal Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is over here. And in Sagittarius, we find Uranus in conjunction with Neptune. Since Uranus rules sudden change, while Neptune rules liquids, such as water, when Jupiter is stimulated and intensified in this manner by the nodes, sudden flooding is just one of the many possibilities. Let me go back for just a second here. Yeah. Again, I want to go back to the transit from Uranus because this also indicates some unexpected event happening, something sudden. This Uranus making a sesquiquadrate to natal Venus. So we had Uranus and Neptune coming into play in more ways than one in all these transits. Okay, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So that is affecting things too. All right, let's go forward now. And let's see. Yeah, this is where we want to be. Now we know that the city of Valencia began in 138 before the Common Era as a Roman encampment, but we don't know exactly what month of the year it was founded. However, if it were founded on June 25th of that year, then the planetary transits would be sufficient to explain why Valencia instead of some other Spanish city. Okay, now this is the prime date for indicating why this happened to Valencia and not some other city in Spain. But the founding date, it could be a little bit different, a few months off from June 25th, 138 BCE. And the influences I'm going to talk about would still be in effect. This is just the moment in the year when they seem to be the strongest. So, what am I talking about? Well, let's look at transits to this moment in time. On June 25th, in the year 138 BCE, transiting Neptune was conjunct natal Pluto, right here. And that combines water, Neptune, with destruction, Pluto. Additionally, transiting Sun in Scorpio, another water sign, is making a square to Uranus on that day. And that acts as a trigger for this unexpected, sudden, catastrophic event. And that's the end of this slideshow. So let me stop sharing at this point. Give me a second. Okay, and I'm back. So I see this sort of thing happening quite often. Oftentimes, the transits of the day will indicate uh, the likelihood of some particular catastrophe that might happen. And a lot of astrologers, they will look at the transits on that day, look at the news, see that there's an event somewhere in the world that corresponds to those transits, and that's where they stop. However, that's not where I want to stop. I want to, if I can, drill down to the horoscope of the country that the event occurred in and the horoscope of the city where it occurred. And quite often, when I do that, the information's not always available for me to do it, but when it is, I invariably see strong reasons why the impact of that transit was felt in that country and in that city, that particular location. Well, it was a great tragedy and a great loss of life for Spain and for the world. But it's important to be able to understand the cosmic cycles that were in play that made such a thing more likely. So, my thoughts and my prayers are with the people of Spain and the people of Valencia. And let's hope that something like this does not happen again in that city or anywhere in the world. Nonetheless, when we look at the astrology behind the event, when we examine the countries or the charts of the country and the city where the event occurred, it becomes much clearer why the probability of such an event occurring was greatly increased at that particular moment in time. Okay, well, I'll stop right there. Again, let's all hope that there's only good things in the future for Spain and Valencia. And I hope you join me again for some future videos. And for now, I'll just say so long and be well.